Hey everyone, welcome back to Bitesize Tea. So in today's video, I'm just going to briefly discuss what I think could be going on with the royal family and why I feel that they're never going to allow Harry back into the royal fold. And if they were, what would that entail and how would they go about doing that? My name is Ems, I'm a qualified UK therapist and I've been working in this field for 20 years. However, my training in the world of mental health and body language, behaviour, and all of those things that go along with that has been well over 20 years. So I'm going to use those tips and those tools to help you hopefully navigate what could be going on in your life. And I use celebrity behaviour to do that. Don't forget to like the video and please think about subscribing to the channel so you do not miss future uploads. And it also tells YouTube that I'm a channel worth keeping. So that being said, if you're still here, then well, grab your cuppa, sit back, relax as we get into bite-sized tea. So I see lots of things circulating with regards to the royal family and the different opinions of people where some believe that the royal family have every right to do what they're doing. And then some kind of go on the theme of, well, you know, this is family, you should forgive, forget, etc., etc. So as a therapist, I'm going to use my training here, not just kind of like when I have my personal thoughts. So taking my personal thoughts of Harry and Meghan to one side, utilizing my training. I have had many clients that have come to me where they've had a falling out with a family member, whether it be a sibling, whether it be their child, their parents, whatever it is, and even some that have been like it's a close friend, etc. Now, obviously, it is dependent on case by case, but generally, it's to me there always has to be firstly reasons why somebody has done what they've done. You're looking at those reasons and are those reasons valid in comparison to how you think and feel as the person's had this done to them. Secondly, then, are you willing to forgive the person? Because forgiveness is not just a word. It's not just say, I forgive you. You have to feel it. You have to work on it. Because a lot of people, and I do hear this, people say, oh, I forgive you. But then when there's something that goes wrong, they bring it back up again. Well, that's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is you work on this to the point where it doesn't affect you anymore. So then if you're going to then get back into this relationship with them again, it's kind of done and dusted and you don't have to dwell on it. So the issue with the situation with Harry is that Harry, it's not about just doing one thing and then realizing, okay, you know what, I was angry, I said some things, I'm sorry about that, and I kind of want to make up with my family. The issue we have with somebody like Harry, and I do believe that he has arrested development as well, but it's the fact that he keeps continuing to repeat the same issues. And the reason is because when Harry gets told no, when he gets a result that he doesn't like, he reacts. So instead of sitting back and going, you know what, I'm really feeling angry here, let me just look at that and process why I feel angry. And then when I've calmed down, I will then talk about it. He doesn't. He goes on the attack. He goes on the defensive. And this is exactly why the royal family have got to a point with him, I'm guessing, is that they just cannot deal with him anymore and they don't trust him. Because when Harry does something wrong, instead of just acknowledging that and thinking, I've done something wrong and I need to just not do that again, I need to learn from that because it hurt my father, it hurt my brother, etc., he does it again and again. And this is what we've seen over the last 5 years. So every time something doesn't go his way, he reacts and gets nasty and mean and cruel even. And of course, this then gets you to that point where you no longer feel that you can trust that person. You're walking on eggshells with them as well, because you never quite know what they're going to do, how they're going to respond to something. And what you then have is, if you're looking at that in the world of, say, you and I, is if you have a family member that does this type of behaviour, like when everything's going great, they're the life and soul of the party, or they're charming, or they're lovely, or you feel loved by them. But as soon as you give them consequences to something, or you say no to them, they then react angrily with hostility, and then they start being mean and cruel to you. You're going to then worry about being that way in the relationship, so to speak. You're going to then think, well, if I say no, then they're going to react, and that's hurtful and painful, and I don't want to go through that. And then what you have is the risk of you not then implementing consequences, or you not saying no, and then them sort of giving in to everything that they want. And then that doesn't help either. And unfortunately, I think that the royal family have, in a sense, done this a little bit with Harry. I feel that because of the death of his mother, they made a lot of allowances for Harry's behaviour. I feel that they've tried to do things while sending him off to the army, and some of the things like giving him Invictus, giving him things to focus on, because of the fact that he was going off the rails, he was out of control. So they've tried to do things. And if you put this into the real world, if you've ever been in a situation with your son, your daughter, or somebody that you've tried to put things to almost distract them from whatever it is that they're doing. And as a parent, I get it. As a parent, I can absolutely see why you would want to do that. However, what that does really is that you're fixing the problem. It's not them fixing the problem, you're fixing the problem for them. And this is what Harry has now got himself into. He's incapable of fixing a problem or sorting a problem out because he expects others to do this. And I think he expects his family to fix everything. And of course, now they're saying no. And so the result of that, the minute they said no to him, was when he started then behaving this way. And then you got the fact that he's then got Meghan, who I believe has got narcissistic personality disorder, fueling this, has really tapped into his anger. The problem you've got here is that Harry is taking zero accountability. He is not looking at anything and having self-actualization, where he's looking at his own behavior and going, you know what, I was wrong here. So what you're going to have, until that happens, which I don't think that's ever going to happen, but until it does, this relationship between him and his family is never, ever going to change, because they now no longer trust him. If you have no trust in anything, whether it's your family, whether it's your partner, whether it's your friend, if trust is broken and that person isn't willing to do everything possible to earn your trust back, because that is what it would take. It would potentially take Harry divorcing Meghan, because they are absolutely, in my opinion, a toxic relationship. And perhaps him going off somewhere to do some humanitarian work and really working on himself, and then him working at building trust back with his family. That is going to take a lot of time, and it may never happen. It may never happen. But Harry has got to accept that. If you've ever done anything wrong to somebody, it's not enough to go, you know what, I'm really sorry about the fact that I hurt your feelings, or I did what I did. And a lot of the time when we want that person to make it better for us. We want that person to go, no, don't worry about it, it's absolutely fine. But when they don't, and the reason you know when someone's insincere is because they react angrily to the fact that you don't accept their apology. You have every right not to accept someone's apology. And that way then you know if the apology is about you or it's about them. And this is what happens with Harry. He says, he might say some things, but because his family keep constantly shutting the door and he's not and going against him, he reacts angrily. His actions do not match the things that he says. So his actions do not show that he wants reconciliation, because he's constantly attempting to hurt his family, knowing his father is unwell, seriously unwell. And then he goes and does this BBC interview. And I imagine that at this point, the family are just done, because there has to be a point when you no longer keep getting hurt by that person. You have to protect yourself. Just because that person is your child, and bearing in mind he's an adult, he's a 40-year-old man, it doesn't mean to say that you have to keep being someone's verbal punch bag. Family, you can love a person, but you don't have to like their behaviour. So they can love Harry because he's their son or brother or whatever it is, but you don't have to like him, you don't have to trust him, and you don't have to have him around. So there is a massive difference. So if you guys are going through anything that is even remotely similar, always look at the why first. Look at why this person is doing what they're doing, and how do you feel about that? Is it something that is... Are you responsible for some of it? And I do think some of the royal family are responsible for some of the earlier stuff. This now, no. But at the end of the day, there's only so much blaming your family that you can do before you you have to grow up and realize that you've got to take accountability and change your own behavior. You can certainly be angry about things, and you can certainly have feelings about things, But to consistently blame them for the choices that you make as an adult, no, it doesn't work. And so I think until Harry does have that moment of clarity where he realizes that he's the problem in a sense and changes that behavior, and I do feel absolutely in removing himself from this toxic relationship, then nothing will ever change. And in fact, if anything, the chasm that's between them will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't get me wrong, if they did decide to reconcile, I don't feel that it would ever be the same. I think trust has been broken, and I don't know if he's ever going to get that back. But it is down to him. It is down to him to stop doing these interviews, stop trying to hurt his family, stop reacting in anger, go and get professional help, go and speak to somebody that actually can get to the bottom of all of this, and someone that's not sycophantic, someone that's not going to tell Harry what he wants to hear. He needs to speak to somebody that's honest and says, your behaviour is appalling and we need to look at that. You know, you've got to take responsibility here. And I don't know who he's spoken to in the past, but also if he's lying to a therapist, we can only go by what someone is telling us as well. So if he's not been honest, which I probably would imagine he hasn't been, then that's not going to help him either. You know, if I have a client that comes to me, one of the first things I say is it's really imperative that you build that trust we build that trust in this therapeutic relationship, that you're able to be open and honest, because if you're not, then I can't support you, I can't help you, because I can only help you with what I know. And if you're being dishonest within that, then, well, it's not gonna help. So yeah, but let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? You know, what are your thoughts on the reconciliation? Do you think that there's a potential for it to happen? Do you think that Harry needs to change? Do you think Harry's perfectly within his rights to feel what he's feeling? As always, I ask you to please keep it respectful in the comments, because there's no point bullying, and there's no point, you know, I know that I get both sort of sides here sometimes, but please, you know, respect other people's opinions. You don't have to agree, but we can act like adults and have a debate in a sensible way. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. I'm hoping we can build this channel to a bigger one. If you want me to discuss other people other than Harry and Meghan, then please let me know in the comments, because I'm really open to using this channel rather than my TNT one to focus on whatever is going on social media, whatever is going on in the mainstream media, and dissecting that and looking at behaviours and body language in the hope that, like I say, that it can help you guys. But yeah. So if you want longer videos, then please head across to my TNT channel. The link is at the end of this video. It's in a round circle. You'll see TNT, but also it's in the description box below. I'm also on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook, go across and go and join the page there. So come join our little community. I'm also on Instagram and also on TikTok as TNT. So I think that's it. If you'd like to treat me to a cuppa, you can do. The link is also in the description box below. You can now join up as a member here if you so choose. You can also super chat if you so choose. But again, the main thing is please watch the video, like and subscribe, and share if you think other people might enjoy this content. And that being said, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, whatever you are doing. And I will see you next week in the next video. And as always, I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye.